We have something very exciting and very freaking huge. If you couldn't tell, it's my hand for reference. This box is huge. We have the first 4 figure gold sticker at the top right. I love how it looks against the blue, very nice. And then at the bottom, it's kind of like the series. It's like the way that they categorize all their figures so that you know what series and what number in that series it's from. In the front, we have Blue Eyes White Dragon, Definitive White Edition. Here we have the side. It's basically just a picture to make it look all nice and pretty. We're pretty familiar with this. On the back, we have, of course, just a picture of the whole figure entirely. And then they always have like a description thing. I'll put it on the screen, and if you want to read that, you're more than free to pause it because I'm not gonna read it for everyone. And then at the very bottom, we have pretty much all the figures in the Yu-Gi-Oh series thus far. On the other side of that, we just have another picture of it. However, it has the swappable head with the blast ball, I don't even know what the hell you call it, inside of his mouth, and then his head is tilted down. Let's start opening this thing, 'cause it's massive. Okay, now let's open it. Whoa. I don't even know where to start, if I'm being honest. There's just so much, but let's go ahead and pick up the base, because everything will go off the base, which is this guy right here. Oh, it's the wings. It's so stylized, I love it. From what I saw, it looks pretty straightforward, so let's just go ahead and start. The very first thing we should probably do is the battery. Nothing too complicated about that. I want to try and hold the figure for where I least, or not the least, I want to try and hold the figure from where I have the most grippage and the least like loose items. So put it in here, and I don't even think I talked about this yet. We have 5 out of 3,000. It's a very, very low number. I know some people don't really care about that, but I like it. I think it's a nice little bonus. All right, let's test it before we close it. It doesn't seem to actually be working, so I'm gonna test it out real quick by charging it with a charger. I actually don't even know if it came with one. I will double check the box, but let's do that, charge it up a little bit, and then we'll see what happens. We got her plugged in. I do see that the red light is on, which is a very good sign. I do not have the battery in here, by the way. So for now, I'm just troubleshooting to see if the battery works or not, or if it's this. However, I want to separate them first, and then we turn it on, and it's still not working. So, okay, that is not a good sign. Okay, here's what we did. I put the battery in, I charged it for about 20 minutes, and then see what would happen. So when I came back, it was turned on, but I couldn't turn it off. And I just unplugged it. I reset the battery. Let's see if it turns on. And nothing. But I did notice that when I plug it in, oh, by the way, USB Type-C. Love that. It turns on. So it might just be like a switch issue. I'm not sure. Or that the battery isn't holding a charge. I'm not sure, but it doesn't turn off anyways. So I'm not really sure what that's about. We'll have to figure it out. But for now, let's go ahead and continue the review, and hopefully this doesn't happen to yours. We got the battery in, and if yours is working, awesome. Then Then we're gonna go ahead and grab his body base. I think we should do the tail. Pretty straightforward with a little tail. So it seems to be magnetic, but I also have to push it in there pretty hard, so. Okay, yeah, so I got the head assembled, and if I'm being honest, I freaking hate it. I'm not even sure that I have it in correctly all the way. You see there's still a gap there. I think what they should have done, and of course hindsight 2020, but just have the head assembled already. Look at that. Like, all these pieces are so frustrating. And I don't know if this is just like because I'm a little animal and I have a really hard time with assembling this stuff, but some of the pieces are really hard to fit in there. And even this one, like this one is so hard to get in there, and I'm gonna have to take it off, push it in, and then put it back on the base. And I really would have rather preferred they just have two heads already built, the one with the ball and then the one without, and then you just slot the neck in there and then call it a day. I don't know, that's just my experience. I really don't like this. The other one is actually easier to put in because you could just put your finger in the tongue and then like kind of press it down. But I want to have this one because it lights up, so we're gonna freaking do it. All right, so we got the big piece on. Make sure you got it good. Then let's go ahead and do the side piece here. Okay, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and press that down and make sure they're both connected. Nice. But here it is, finally. That assembly almost broke me. My goodness. This one's freaking awesome though. Wow. All right, let's take a look at this guy. Put him on the turn wheel and start inspecting him. Here he is. And I'm gonna have to be honest, it looks really freaking good. It is huge. I knew it was gonna be big, but I don't think I expected this big. And besides a couple of things that aren't working that are kind of a freaking bummer, that switch is still not doing anything. Paintwork phenomenal. There's very little that I have an issue with, if anything. Like, I really like how the base is more of a metallic look to it, and I think it's further proven in the actual like attack and defense points. And they have the iconic stars in the front, which I also really like. On top of that base, we have a plaque, or I guess like an ancient tablet, stone tablet of Blue Eyes actually on there, and it looks like the actual card, and I'll put a picture of that. And then he has some rocks that he's standing on, and he's kind of balancing between the rock and the tablets. I actually really like that. I think what makes it more fluid feeling is definitely the clouds and the smoke or whatever the hell that is, because it's just like air whirling around him, and it almost looks like he's about to take off from the tablet and the rock. So I really like that. Biggest thing that people are gonna have a problem with is that he's not actually blue. And I think it's like it's Blue Eyes, a white dragon, but in the anime he looks a little more blue than white.
Take flight, Blue Eyes White Dragon, rise! Go, White Lightning Attack!
So it kind of depends, and they did actually come out with a variation where he looks a little more, I believe it's like metallic? You know, it varies, but I think they made a good call here. And honestly, if they really wanted to and people were really like planning on something different, they could always just make a blue variant. I don't know, like I guess it depends on how like that easy that would be, but I think it's possible. The little ball of what I'm assuming is like fire, I don't know. But point is, that one is, I don't know, I don't really like that, if I'm being honest. You can see the circular ring around the cap that they use to kind of close it in together. I don't know, it's not really working for me, if I'm being honest. The only reason I have this one in is because it lights up. And the only other alternative, which is the other jaw, is just him with his mouth open and his eyes don't light up or his mouth doesn't light up. So this is kind of the only other way that I can get light on the top of the figure. So I think that's kind of a shame. I guess it is what it is. I do, however, like the weathering on his skin. So I think the weathering effect that they had on it is good enough so that where it's believable and you don't really have to kind of guess, if that makes sense. Like, no one's gonna sit there and wonder, is it scales, besides me, because I'm kind of a weirdo like that. But I think the effect that they had on there is good enough. This is the definitive version of the statue, which basically means that it comes with the bigger base and it lights up and it has a card. So the exclusive version also lights up and has a card. However, he is just on a more simple base and he doesn't have the resin side of it. So this one is resin and PVC. So resin is expensive, which inherently drives up the price to begin with. So for the price of Blue Eyes, we have him coming in at $374.99. So basically $375. That is in USD, not including tax or shipping, as always. But yeah, he's quite expensive. This is like the 4th figure that I've gotten from First 4 Figures that has come like broken or just something wrong with it. I will say every single time that something has happened, they exchange it for me. I just think that it sucks ass to have to like replace and destroy and send them the video and send them pictures and like open tickets. And I've done that 4 times now and I'm getting kind of annoyed. But their customer service is always great. So that's just something to note. It happens more so with the resins than with the PVCs. 3 of my resins, including this one, have been like something wrong with them. And then the only PVC has been oaky. So, you know, it is what it is. At this point, since it's after 30 days, I'm just going to get someone to replace the button. Where is it? Because I'm pretty sure this is what's broken. It still lights up and the battery works. So I'm assuming it's something with the button. I'm getting a little salty now, I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting a little bit salty. But we've got some exciting stuff coming up, so that gives me a ray of hope. That's pretty much it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you later. Bye! Look at my little son pancaking in the background. Bodacious. Nice.